Ever since that unforgettable Oscars moment when Will Smith slapped Chris Rock in front of millions, his career has been on a roller coaster, but now things have taken an even darker turn. From political rants, fan backlash, and accusations of staging fake concert crowds, all the way to a shocking feud with Sony over Men in Black 5, is this the beginning of the end for Will Smith's Hollywood career? Or will this controversy fuel the comeback he's so desperate to make? Let's break it all down. In 2022, the slap heard around the world changed everything. Will Smith went from being one of the most beloved actors in Hollywood to one of the most controversial. Overnight, he became a global headline for all the wrong reasons. The Academy banned him from attending the Oscars for 10 years. Major projects were put on hold. Studios grew nervous. And fans, many of whom grew up watching him in Fresh Prince, Bad Boys, and Men in Black, began walking away in droves. But instead of laying low and repairing his image, Smith has only added fuel to the fire. Recently, Will made headline again with fiery political comments. His outspoken attacks on Trump supporters, and even some of his own fans have only deepened the divide between him and the public. Then came the concert scandal. Critics accused his team of using computer-generated effects to make his crowds look bigger than they really were. For a man once known for electrifying live performances, that was a devastating accusation. Fans began to question, if even the crowd is fake, what else about Will Smith is smoke and mirrors? And the drama didn't stop there. Smith was scheduled to appear alongside Snoop Dogg on Jimmy Kimmel Live for a lighthearted comedic rap segment. But at the last minute, Snoop backed out, allegedly refusing to be tied to Smith's public drama. That cancelled appearance sent yet another message. Will Smith is no longer the safe, family-friendly star people want to stand next to. Even longtime industry friends are distancing themselves. But perhaps the biggest blow yet comes from Sony Pictures. Behind the scenes, Will Smith was preparing for a grand return as Agent J in Men in Black 5. Originally, Sony was prepared to pay him over $100 million, similar to his massive payday for Men in Black 3. But following his recent controversies, Sony made a drastic move. They slashed his paycheck nearly in half, cutting it down to $55 million. To make matters worse, Sony also scrapped plans to cast Jada Pinkett Smith as a new agent and love interest for Will's character, a role he had personally lobbied for as part of his deal. For Will, losing both the money and Jada's inclusion was a double humiliation. Insiders say Smith exploded in anger. He accused Sony of racism and discrimination, claiming the cuts were a calculated move to please his critics. He reportedly confronted Sony executives, including the CEO, in multiple heated video meetings, demanding they reconsider. When Sony refused, Smith began exploring legal action, arguing that Jada's role was part of the original contract. Sony, however, denies this, saying no such agreement was ever finalized. Behind closed doors, Smith is described as being in a catch-22. He feels trapped. Yeah, he knows Men in Black 5 might be his only shot at winning back fans and proving himself again as a leading man, but he also feels betrayed by the very studio that made him a star. But here's the million-dollar question: does anyone even care about Men in Black anymore? The last installment, Men in Black International, bombed at the box office. Without Will Smith and Tommy Lee Jones, audiences had no interest. And with Sony pouring money into superhero projects like Madame Web, which also flopped, the studio is desperate to avoid another disaster. By slashing Smith's salary and removing Jada's role, Sony is betting that a leaner, less risky production might give Men in Black 5 a fighting chance. But fans and critics alike aren't convinced. Many see the franchise as a relic of the past, unlikely to capture today's audience. Ultimately, the real issue isn't just one movie or one contract, it's Will Smith's brand. Millions of fans have walked away since the Oscars slap. His attempts at music comebacks, like his Based on a True Story album, have been met with mixed reviews at best, with some tracks taking unnecessary shots at Chris Rock and other critics. Instead of rebuilding goodwill, Smith has doubled down on controversy. And in Hollywood, perception is everything. If audiences don't buy tickets, studios won't pay big salaries. Sony's decision to slash his paycheck is less about punishing Will Smith and more about acknowledging reality. He isn't the box office draw he once was. So what's next for Will Smith? Right now, reports suggest he's pushing Sony to raise his Men in Black 5 paycheck to at least $70 million, but insiders say the studio has no plans to budge. They've already reallocated the money into production and marketing, hoping the film can stand on its own. If Smith refuses to move forward at the reduced rate, the film could collapse entirely. If he accepts, it may be his last chance to show the world he can still headline a blockbuster. Meanwhile, rumors swirl that Smith may pursue legal action against Sony, but even if he wins in court, will he win back the fans? So here's the bottom line. Will Smith went from being Hollywood royalty to fighting tooth and nail just to hold onto his career. His battles with critics, feuds with fellow stars, and now this war with Sony over Men in Black 5 could define the rest of his legacy. But what do you think? Is Sony right to cut his paycheck and pull Jada from the film? Or is Will Smith being unfairly targeted because of his past mistakes? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. I want to hear what you think. And if you enjoyed this breakdown, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more celebrity drama updates, and ring the notification bell so you don't miss the next video. Because trust me, when it comes to Will Smith, this story is far from over.